Namaskar, everybody is welcome to my YouTube channel on the topics of relational database management system and versus object-oriented database management system. Relational database management system is widely used, and also NoSQL database also used here and there, or heavy write-bound database. But except this, object-oriented database management system also used, where object is a object ID, represented as object ID, and it is a schema-less database. On the other hand, relational database management system is a schema-based database. Every row represents the mini table, and the row and columns, it is a tabular form of the database. And relational database management system represents object ID and also make the relation between two object ID by reference key. Relational database management system, here represent the key, primary key, and so foreign key, primary key for the same table, relation makes primary key for the same table, and foreign key to the different table. Relational database management system makes the schema column-wise. So every column represents the schema and row represents the another relation within two rows. This row, every row is independent with each other, and every row you can count this every row as a table. So relational database management system is follow the ACID property of the database. ACID property means atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation, D for durability. Atomicity means if any operation is completed at the relational database management system, it is a final. If any rollback is required, the total operation related to this operation will be rolled back. And this is the atomicity. That is not that if any operation is not partially used. If it is used, so it will be permanent use, permanent completed, and permanent committed. Relational database management system follow some types data type, and relational database management system follow the number, date, and character data type. On the other hand, object-oriented database management system follow the image, audio file, video, multimedia database, and time series database, and also computer-aided design, which is not followed, which is not accustomed to the relational database management system. In the data independence is a character of the relational database management system. What is the relational database? Follow the independence. Independence means two types of independence is there. Logical data independence, another is physical data independence. Logical data independence means if any changes is occurred at the schema level or data structure or attribute level. See, if any attribute is changed or schema is changed, then it is not affected, it will not affected. Its effect will not impact of any physical level or of any level. Or if any changes is occurred at physical data physical level, that is file location is changed, indexing is changed, or creation of new file, then these changes will not give any impact on the higher level or lower level of the database system. So changes of schema, data structure, and attribute, and also changes of the indexing or localization or creation of new file will not give any impact of any layer of the database system. Database system, object-oriented database system is guided by object ID, and relational database management system is guided by primary key and also foreign key. So there are basically some changes, differences between the two relational database management system. Synthesis granularity, that is complex but relational database management system store data row-wise simplified manner. So it have no capacity to deal with the inheritance property of the object-oriented database management system. So it is called granularity. Another is objects are connected by reference, but in relational database management system, it is connected with object ID, and in the case of relational database management system, it is connected with a primary key. Consequence: developer write code on to translate the object from one to another, but it is not sufficient to deal completely by the relational database management system. So there are basically some differences between the relational database management system and object-oriented database management system. This and another impedance is there, that is SQL impedance. SQL is limited, there have a limitation. It have no capacity to deal with the fourth generation language. And so this is a main capacity, main fault of the relational database management system, that the SQL language is not compatible with the fourth generation language of the application. And this problem of this fourth problem, that is granularity, object are connected with the reference key, and relational database management system, it is connected with the primary key. Consequence: those problems is not solved totally, but there are a try to solve things by ORM, object relational mapping process. And another mandatory features of the database system, that is persistence, recovery, storage management, querying, concurrency, data independence. This sixth property is a basic property of the database management system. Persistence means if any data is stored at any level, that is at storage, and this storage is stored the data finally. So no problem or no occurrence, no some confusion is arised. The data is not permanently, it is stored. It is stored permanently, and no effect at other level, at upper level with the storage. Data persistence is capability of the application to store data and to retrieve data if application is closed. Data stored by application, it can be accessed by any time, no restriction from any level is occurred. Data recovery. Data recovery is a common process of the relational database management system or database management system. How this recovery is organized? Recovery is organized by the backup process of the system. Backup process also a process, but background another process is going on as replication. Replication is a process where data is replicated at various sites of the database. So backup process allows that data to recover from point to point if any system shutdown is occurred, when the data also recoverable at the previous times. So data recovery is the main point of a database system. If any shutdown is occurred, if any data shutdown or any types of damage is occurred at any point of the data system, then data is recoverable. Still now data is recoverable, and also application is closed, still data is recoverable. Data storage management system. This storage management system is mainly divided by three types, three parts: primary storage, secondary storage, and third is territorial memory storage. And territorial memory storage mainly floppy disks, etc., which is not today is totally is not mainly used. Secondary storage is SSRD, hard disks, pen drive, etc. And this capacity, this memory type store havoc capacity, but the speed is very less. And primary memory is high speed, but storage capacity is very less. ROM or RAM, which is primarily is used. So primary memory to secondary memory and then territorial memory, storage is increasing. On the other hand, high speed is losing, and towards territorial to primary memory, high speed is losing. High speed is gaining. So primary memory, secondary memory, tertiary memory, this trend shows high capacity, and territorial memory to secondary and their primary memory shows high speed. Optimization of query execution depends upon the storage technique and also the retrieving methods. Storage techniques mainly two parts, secondary and primary. We know that secondary storage havoc, then primary storage, secondary memory capacity greater than primary memory capacity, and yet the speed is also less, but storage capacity is havoc, greater. On the other hand, retrieving method is indexing and hashing. Indexing system is scanned when any database, when any particular types of data is want to scan, want to retrieve. Then retrieving indexing is scanned, also hashing system is scanned. So indexing is a policy, indexing is a method. If it is properly, algorithm properly is done, then the indexing is fast. And hashing also depends on the algorithm process. So retrieving method and storage technique give us a facility, and also some techniques which gives us the query execution very fast. And so query execution depends storage technique and also the retrieving technique of the database. Data concurrency. Data concurrency mainly depends that multiple transactions can simultaneously access the application and modify the application. So the application is accessing by several users and several times, but if it is occurred several users at any time, at any specific time, then simultaneously these transactions can be occurred. No data conflict is occurred. So every transaction is properly done, and this is the process of data concurrency. Any operation, may be read or write, at the database system should be completed without any influence of other operation. Object-oriented database management system and is divided. If we calculate the object-oriented database management system, it is two parts. One is object-oriented programming plus database technology. We have already seen the database technology follows the ACID property, and the object-oriented mainly the object-based. Summing those two techniques, we get a extended database of the relational database management system. But still now, it faces some issue, that is query optimization. Query optimization is the issue which gives maximum time to find out, to retrieve any query, any data. And also another issue is standardization. Standardization is a policy, is a procedure where the database system, object-oriented database system is guided. But there are no such standard process to follow this object-oriented database management system. Object-oriented database management system is a combination of relational database management system and also object-oriented system. Relational database management system gives us persistence, storage management, concurrency, querying, and recovery process. And the object-oriented database management system gives us a complex object, encapsulation, overriding, overloading, and also class hierarchy. So summing the total process, that is relational database management system plus object-oriented database management system, we get the object-oriented database management system. And database management system, object-oriented database management system, count in terms of the object, not the data. Reuse of class, change or remove of class is possible. Classes is independent of platform of the hardware and software process. So if we imagine relational database management system part of the object-oriented database management system, then we can show the picture where one animal showing impactly, showing object-oriented database management system, combining with all parts of the earth body. Relational database management system is if we think it is a part of the animal body. So relational database management system is a combination, and object-oriented database management system is a summation of the object. Object-oriented database management system has another positivity, that is, it supports the time series data. But time series data is not supported by the relational database management system. The object-oriented database management system also supports overloading, overriding, object encapsulation, types and classes, object identity, extensibility, computational completeness, class hierarchy. So we can discuss one by one. Overloading. If we give two system, two function, that is add function, and first time we are adding two integer A, integer B. Second time, with the same name of the function add, we are adding three integer. So this is a overloading. This object name, summation or function name is not changing, but changing the attribute or argument of the function. First time it is adding two integer, second time it is adding three integers, or maybe it is four integer. So overloading is loaded of the argument of the function, not changing any name of the function. Overriding is showing also same, but it is some differences is there. Two same name of the function, but content is different. Content means the argument is not different, but the content, that is, first is displaying the base class, second is displaying the another thing, derived class, and the change is there. That is, the function name is not changing, but the changing is content, another content. So overriding is not changing the function name, the content is changing. So the two property, that is overriding and overloading, is the characters of the object-oriented database management system. So this is my end of the video. Now we have already discussed the object-oriented database management system, and we have already seen the differences within the relational database management system with object-oriented database management system. We can say that object-oriented database management system is a extended form of the relational database management system. Thank you.